Hello, what's up, guy? And nice to see you, and welcome to our regional polytechnic institute in Singapore. And today, video lesson, I'm going to share with you all about Monsoon Asia and rise adaptations. And before we move to study the new point, I also have some question to ask everybody a little bit before we move to this new point. So, what was it about that you studied last week? Okay, what was it about which you studied last week? So last week, everybody studied about what? The outer rings, the outering, you know, the outering of islands, right? The outerings of islands. So I also have some questions in this old point. So my question is, please don't forget to take out your notebook to write down my question and answer together. My question for number one, okay, what happened on August the 27th in 1883 between Sumatra and Java Islands? Again, what happened on August the 17th in 1883 between Sumatra and Java Islands? Okay, if we talk about, in the yes 1883, yeah, on August 7th, the 27th, between these two islands. So it was the most famous, yeah, it was the most famous of the volcanic eruptions. Again, it was the most famous of the volcanic eruptions. And one more question: how far the explosion of the volcanoes was heard away in Australia and South India? Again, how far the explosion of the volcanoes were heard away in Australia and South India? The answer is the explosion were heard 1,500 miles away in Australia and South India. Yeah, it was heard 1,500 miles away in Australia and South India. That's all for my question to ask everybody in these old points. So let's study together. Last week we finished at this point, right? And but let's continue from this point again to move in the next one because we have a little bit of points that is continued from this. So let's start from this. This, yeah, a deity, yes, these deities preside over highly active volcanoes which erupt with disastrous frequency, burying whole villages, but often miraculously, miraculously, sparing temples. Uh, these, the Asian volcanoes are parts of the Great Arc of Fire. Yeah, Great Arc of Fire. You know, arc. It means the shape of part of a circle or other curved line. Canoe. Yes, Arc of Fire. The rims, the ocean, or the Pacific Ocean. Its American arm include the the Casat, Sierras, and Andes. Another type of volcano in the mid-Pacific is of the basaltic. Basaltic basalt is a hard black volcano. Yeah, black volcanic rocks. That's called. I mean, the types of hard rock from the volcano. Yeah, uh, basaltic types. Great fast moving, fast spreading, enormous volcanoes such as Mauna Loa and Kilauea in Hawaii, which build up from the ocean floor to the surface. But the volcanoes of the Pacific Rim, do you know Pacific Rim? Pacific Rim means the countries on the edge of the Pacific Ocean, such as Japan, Australia, and the west coast, yes, of the U.S. That's called Pacific Rim, are of a type known as an andesitic. Yeah, andesitic. Andesitic it's an extrusive, usually dark grayish rock, more andesitic. Yes, they erupt. You know, erupt when a volcano erupts, it explodes and flames and rock come out of it. Too. Yeah, too. They erupt at lower temperature. Sticky means made of or covered with a substance that stay thick to any surface. It touches. At, yes, and tend to be likely to behave in a particular way or have a particular characteristic. To pile up around vent, a small opening that allows air, smoke, or gas to enter or leave a closed space. Rondell, yeah. They often throw, they often throw a large amounts of broken rock into the air and build the piles of material around the rim higher and higher into pointy peaks. Yeah, pointy means a shape into a point. Zhong, peak, peak means uh, the pointy top of a mountain or the mountain itself. Kompul talks about a mountain like Mount Fuji in Japan, which we tend to admire as graceful, moving in a smooth, relaxed, attractive way, or having a smooth, attractive shape. Some rooms and symmetrical. Yeah, symmetrical made up of exactly similar parts facing each other or around an axis, showing symmetry. Symmetry, pip some clear, pip C clear, yes, symmetrical. By contrast, Love has about 100 times more dangerous volcano is the most fertile soils in the world in non-volcanic regions of Indonesia. Non-volcanics bên from blue. Yeah. Soil are often poor and the land sparsely in a thinly dispersed manner in small numbers. Chùm nôn tay tuốt yes. Populated if an area is populated by people or animals, they live in that area. You know, I mean, particular don't know. But volcanic areas have soil and climate conditions that allow for the higher population densities, and some of the most successful agricultural system ever devised. Yeah, ever devised to invent a plant. Yeah, a plant. Sorry, to invent a plant, a system, object, etc. Usually cleverly or using imagination. Yeah. Before turning to those human adaptations, the process of changing to suit different conditions ការសម្របខ្លួនការប្រែប្រួលទៅតាម yeah, adaptation. However, one more piece of the geographic picture must be put in place: the monsoons. Yeah, the monsoon. ខ្យល់មូសុង yeah, monsoon. So now move on to this new part about monsoon Asia that everybody has to study right now, and rise adaptations. What about the rise adaptation and monsoon Asia? At midwinter, You know, midwinter, I mean the middle of the winter. At midwinter in Asia, when the sun is far south over the Tropic of Capricorn, yeah, Capricorn, the 10th sign of the zodiac, relating to the period from 23rd December to 20th January, and represented by a goat or a person born during the period. It is called Capricorn. Central Asia and Siberia are intensely old. Intensely, its adverb is extreme or forceful or very strong. Yes, about the feeling. Yang Klang. I mean, very, very cold, intensely cold. The Tibetan plateau prevents the warm southern ocean from moderating the frigidity, yeah, moderate to cause to become less inside strength or force to reduce something, the more mushroom, yes, moderating the frigidity. Frigidity means coldness, yeah, coldness, the jet. And since cold air sinks, a vast region of high pressure pushes this cold air eastward into North China and southward over the edge of the Himalayas to spill onto the North Indian plains. Plain a large area of flat land will reap. Yeah, but throughout the spring, as sun begins moving northward, the situation reverse the opposite of what has been suggested. Banjara. Temperatures rise in North India and Southeast Asia, and ground accumulate to gradually increase in number or amount or gather together from one problem accumulate. Groundwater slowly evaporates. Evaporates means to cause a liquid to change to a gas, especially by heating wood. Yeah. April and May are intensely hot and dry. The same thing is going on over the Indian Ocean and the seas of Southeast Asia, where ocean waters is evaporating and rising into the atmosphere as moisture laden to air or clouds, carrying a lot of moisture. Yes, moisture laden cloud. These are the conditions that create the monsoons. Because the land heats faster than the ocean, the warmer air over the land rises. As it rises denser, yeah, dense means having parts that are close together, so that it's difficult to go or see through. Gra, yeah, gra, kante gra, denser. Moisture filled air from the ocean if pulled into fill the vacuum. Vacuum, a space from which most all of the air gas or other material has been removed or is not present. Yes, vacuum. These are the monsoon winds. As the wind blows inland, this air too rises, releasing its heavy load of water vapor as monsoon rains. Webster said in 1983, 81, sorry, 1981. The comings of the monsoons is greeted with celebrations throughout monsoon Asia, even by the casual visitor who happens to experience the shift from the numbing heat of May. Numb, it means the act of unable to feel anything. Numb, spuk, yeah. Heat of May to the dripping humidity, drip, very wet, very wet. Briefly, a relief by jelly deluges, yeah, deluges, delude very large amount of rain or water. ទឹកជំនន់ of June and July. For farmers, it means their paddy fields, which they have plowed, plow, a large farming tool with blades that digs the earth in fields so that seed can be planted pure, pure. And weed to remove wild plants uh, from a place where they are not wanted. Kapchka, yes. And repair, and repaired in preparation will now fill with water essential to the first growth of rice. If the monsoon comes consistently over the next few months, they will have a good crops. If they are sometimes inexplicably, inexplicably means in a way that cannot be explained or accounted for, but I ban, yeah, happens. The rain begin and then stops. The young rice shoots will, you know, yellow in their dried out field. A dry out means to make something dry or to become dry. You know this dry out. Smooth yes, dry out field. And then the wither away, or we can say wither only, yes. Wither means to slowly disappear, lose importance, or become weaker. Swatto, yes. If the monsoon are over generous, the waters will rise until the yeah ridges, ridges along narrow raised parts of surface, especially a high edge, along a mountain, ridge, and over generous, excessively generous, yes. Separating field disappear and the rise drowned. Drowned, drowned to cover or be covered, especially with a liquid, like long. Yes. Dry, dry, and wet. Monsoon Asia, Monsoon Asia is natural of habitat for rice. Monsoon Asia, the portion of Asia dominated by the wet rice pattern described in the last section, is not the whole of Asia by any means. In the equatorial, equatorial islands of Indonesia, rain falls more or less, evenly. By any means, đôi một số bài nào mùi. Equatorial, or equatorial, yes, near the equator, or typical of places near the equator, the one that nó chít pole equator, yeah, yeah, and evenly, if you say something evenly, you speak without showing emotion in your voice, although you are angry or not satisfied in some ways. Yeah, it means the words that used to express your feelings, just to emphasize in the sentence what you are saying about. Throughout the year, and a little seasonal variation, variation. Uh, Seasonal variation ការប្រែប្រួលតាមរដូវកាល yes, can be detected detect no, to notice something that is partly hidden or not clear, or to discover something especially using a special method or occurring, detect. And of course, the mountainous regions of the Tibet and the arid, very dry and without enough, rain for plant. Yeah, very dry. Very smooth klang hút hay. Yes, a bonnet hút hay. Okay, and to the yeah arid region to the north are outside monsoon Asia. But India and mainland Southeast Asia, the lower eastern regions of China, Korea, Manchuria, and southern Japan are all influenced by the monsoons. In monsoon Asia, rice is the single most important crop, covering one third of the total cultivated area. Part of monsoon Asia have longer dry and weaker wet seasons, and so grain a seed uh, or seeds have from a plant, especially a plant like grass such as rice or wheat. Wheat crop grains like wheat, millet. Millet. Sorry. Millet. What is millet? A plant that is similar to grass or small seed from this plant that can be eaten. Through BA, yes, through BA. You can check about the types of rice on Google itself. And sorghum, sorghum. Sorghum, a type of grain, a type of grain grown in hot countries. So, like by sorghum, are more reliable crops. You can draw an imaginary line north, south in India, leaving the southern tip of India and Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka on the eastern side. To the west is wheat. To the east is rye cultivation. You can draw another line east-west across China, north of a rush line. Rush, difficult or unpleasant. Lying between the Yangtze and the Yellow rivers. South is rye cultivation, north is millet and wheat. Yeah. Origin of rye cultivation. About the origin of rye cultivation. We know, yes, we know that rye originated, someplace. Someplace for US is somewhere. In monsoon Asia, it someplace means somewhere. Uh, but its free history is far less well documented uh, than than that of wheat in the Middle East. Rice still grows well in the three valleys of the Red, Mekong, and Chao rivers. All Asian rice belong to a single species of annual grass. Species? Species are set of animal or plants in which the members have a similar characteristics to each other and can be bred with each other. Yeah, prepared of annual grass. Oryza sativa, commonly known as Asian rice. I mean rice. It is commonly used. Is known in English. I mean rice. Oryza sativa. Yeah, there. Uh, there the simplicity, the fact that something is easy to understand or do keeps in mind. Simplicity. Simplicity ends. There are over 120,000 varieties. Among variety, any many different types of things or people. Prepared cocoa same thing here. Yeah. Among the three subspecies, a category in a biological classification that ranks immediately below a species. A species. Kelompok tum-tum. Indica, like the three subspecies like Indica, Japonica, also known as Sinica. Yes, Indica you know, it because also the types of rice, yeah, and also these three types sub species. And Javanica, the Japonica variety evolved along a Chinese branch of the Brahmaputra rivers, and so the Chinese call it Sinica. Yeah. And in the Indonesian islands, a third race of Rai Javanica evolved in adaptation to equatorial, equatorial conditions. Adaptation, the process of changing to suit different conditions การสำรองคลื่นการเหมือนซ้อมคลื่น yes you know the sheer numbers of varieties is fabulous very good excellent uh, genetic it means belonging or relating to genes parts of DNA in cells received from each animal or plant from its parents. Zen, a resource that has made possible the hybridize uh, crossbreed individuals of two different species or varieties. បង្កើតពូជ hybridizing of a whole set of high yields to supply or produce something positive such as a profit and amounts of food or information. តនផល is yield varieties of rice or for short is called HYVs. Yeah, since the 1960s. These thousands of strain an animal or plant from a particular group whose characteristics are different in some way from others of the same group. Okay, are treated as national treasure in a rice growing nation. Preserve to treat food in a particular way so that it can be kept for a long time without going bad. ไทยศาสตร์ตก in the in germ plus plasm or plasma, the pale yellow liquid that forms 55% of the human blood and contains the blood cells plasma. At germ plasm banks where they are stored on shelves like so many tins of tuna. Because of its efficient system for transporting oxygen from shoots to roots 10 times better than barley. Barley, a tall plant like grass with long, straight hair growing from the heat of each stem, or the grain, from this plant, used for food and for making beer and whiskey, srau ballet, that is called in Khmer language, srau ballet, and 4 times better than maize. Rice is highly adaptable to hot, wet, waterlogged mean of land full of water and almost covered by layers of it and are full of waters and therefore unable to keep moving or floating. Waterlogged. Environment suggests common throughout monsoon Asia, where rice is typically grown in several inches of water throughout most of its growing cycle. It grows probably in a site environment that rice as a cultivar, cultivar a plant variety that has been produced in cultivation by selective breeding. Cultivar first evolved with a later adaptation to dry, hill rice conditions. And a second characteristic of rice is its extreme sensitivity. Photosensitivity means it is used to describe sensitivity to the ultraviolet UV, UV rays from sunlight and other light sources. Tranh blue clang, yes. Requiring precise, yeah, precise, I mean exact and accurate. ជាក់លាក់ពិតប្រាកដច្បាស់លាស់ numbers of minutes of sunlight per day at various stages of its growing season. This is the okay. Wow, this is why thousands of varieties have emerged in adaptation to micro regions. Micro regions are the smallest of planning regions and have the potential for the development of at least one specialization of the production cycle of great significance, the one macro, yeah, throughout monsoon Asia. It is at this photosensitivity that require emergent effects of someone appearing by coming out from behind something. ការលេចឡើង yeah ការលេចឡើង as the Javanica subspecies before rice could survive in the very different solar condition of the equatorial region. In the search of the origin of rice cultivation, however, the picture is not yet clear. Archaeologists in Southeast Asia has document here it as verb to record the detail of an event, process, etc. Trong krong je exa je. Document a long period of successful foraging. Forage to go from place to place searching, especially for food រកអាហាររកចំណី forage by the people such as those who inhabited it spirit cave in the northwestern hills of Thailand, and there is no easy explanation why they gave up their adaptation for the hard work of rice cultivation. Higham, 1984. We assume to accept something to be true without question or proof. Solomon. It took some kind of as yet until and including as this time so far, but already uh, unidentified pressure, unidentified whose name is not known or is being kept secret. Uh, pressure to push them to it. The oldest phrase, yeah, of the Chinese Neolithic, Neolithic belonging to the periods when humans used tools and weapons made of stones and had just developed farming. យុគថ្មរំលីង yes, Neolithic is about 3000 BCE. Uh, but that was based on millet, not rice, in the Hongri version. The older site of rice cultivating appear to be in southern Chinese coastal areas running down as far south as the Red River Basin in Vietnam. At the site of Hamudu in Zhejiang province, dated at 5000 BCE, is a whole Neolithic assemblage, uh, assemblage of pottery, carpentry, stone axes, the two like an axe with the blades at an angle of yeah approximately 90 uh, degree to the handle used for cutting and shaping wood like core like door, yes. boat paddles, already this paddle, trồng hoa, yes, and spindle product way walls, yeah, walls, sorry, walls for weaving, yeah, อุปกรณ์สำหรับถักบานหรือถักกุน yes, ropes and mats, evidence of domesticated pigs like dog, chicken, possibly cattle and water buffalo, and lots of rice. There were layers of rice husks. Okay, husk mean the dry outer covering of some seeds on cam. Yeah, grain, straw, and leaves 20 inches thick. Uh, Bellwood summarizes. Bellwood summarizes like this: the main significance of Southern China, and one of which becomes ever firmer, strong, and tighter, as the archaeological record unfold to tell someone about something, especially a plan or and explain it in detail later down behind. Is that it was the zone where uh, first develops Neolithic technological and economic package that sure all later population expansions into mainland and island Southeast Asia. Okay, thank you everybody about this three part. The first one is called origins of right coloration. You have known already. Don't forget to read and try to Jeff extract or take out all the explanation in this part. Right, yeah, rice dry and wet. Okay, and about monsoon Asia and rice adaptation. Thank you everybody for listening to my video lesson today. Goodbye, see you, good luck.